Hey everyone. So, a question that I frequently get is why did I quit being a vegetarian? So, I do want to go ahead and give you a little bit of backstory. So, when I was a teenager and in my early 20s, I dealt with a lot of chronic, like intestinal issues um, regarding like digestion. So I kind of did the whole like elimination thing where I eliminated everything from my diet and then slowly added things back into it. Upon doing so, I kind of just became a vegetarian because it was easier on my stomach. I noticed that different meats and everything were harder for me to digest. Seafood was a little bit easier. So then I was like, okay, I can't do this whole being a vegetarian thing. I love sushi. Sushi was my favorite. So then I decided to go pescatarian. And I went pescatarian for quite some time. I would say about 2 years I was like a pescatarian. And then I decided to kind of just give up. But I was still primarily a pescatarian. I would just say, like, every couple weeks, I would veer off in another direction. But, anyways, so when I got my cancer diagnosis, I basically panicked and I kept hearing all of these things, change your diet, go plant based, it'll help your treatment, go sugar free. And I went in this state of like panic mode and I was like, I want to just try everything. And so I basically threw everything, including the kitchen sink, at the cancer. And I went plant based again. And I went like full extreme. I took out everything except for like eggs and cheese. That was my one thing that I was like, I, quit the whole sugar situation. If it was a sugar, it was like maybe fruit or like, I don't know, like 8 grams of sugar a day if it wasn't a fruit or something like that. It was ridiculous. And there's a few reasons why I stopped. So I do want to say my first time doing that, like sending my body into that, my first PET scan, I did see a 70% decrease in my cancer. However, I had also stopped taking like my birth control and I started cancer treatment and just I was going through the actual treatment. So, was it that? I don't know. I was also drinking green tea and taking turkey tail and you name it, like I was doing it. So, can I say that the dramatic change was because I went plant based? I don't know. Could it have helped? Maybe. But regardless, what I found though is that I was really weak. I was really fatigued. And yes, it could have something to do with the treatment, but I also found myself just in general not enjoying eating. And I found myself at the grocery store just really dreading everything, like looking at all the ingredients, looking at the labels, and it was creating so much stress. And if there's anything that fights diseases, stress, right? Like decrease your stress. And for me at that moment, I decided that my stress and my mental health was more important than being a vegetarian and being sugar free. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to start eating meat again. I started kind of adding slowly them back into my diet. And you know what I did? I started feeling better, a little bit better. Again, during cancer treatment, you don't feel fabulous, but I did start to get some of my energy back and I still got a little bit of strength. And, you know, I felt much happier. I felt less stressed out about every time I was going in for a meal or to like eat something. And I just decided, I'm like, you know what? It's fine. Whatever balance looks like to me is what I'm going to do. Um, because, I'm not like an overeater. I'm not a crazy. binge eater or anything like that. And I know that some people do struggle with those issues. Um, but that's not who I am. So I figured if I just eat a balanced diet, I already don't eat fast food. I don't, drink soda. I don't, do a lot of those typical things that also might contribute to some people's unhealthy lifestyles. Um, so I just figured it wasn't worth it. And I went in for another PET scan, and guess what? My cancer was still shrinking. So then I just decided, you know what? I am fully giving up on the vegetarian, vegan, plant based diet. I'm giving up completely. So that is my thoughts. I know a lot of people have their own thoughts on this topic, but that is just it for me. Thanks, guys. Bye.